Good thing that this particular podcast is brought to you by Nugenics, because you're going to need it. As the recording of this podcast on Friday, December 15th, according to science, this is the most sexless day of the year.
The most sexless?
Yes, the most sexless day of the year. The demand for UK sexual health services hits an annual low on December 15th. An expert with the Superdrug Online Doctor, which sounds really reputable. By the way, she'll like it too.
Well, I'm sorry. What the
Superdrug Online Doctor.
Okay.
They drew this conclusion by analyzing requests for emergency contraception prescriptions and sexually transmitted infection tests, tying the mid-December day to the phenomenon known as winter vagina. They call it, by the way, Too Good for Radio podcast, also known as the Sex and Poo podcast.
Yeah.
It's only going to get worse from here.
Yeah.
They go on to say that a drop in temperature can make skin and hair become dry and dehydrated, but not many people know that the temperature change can also have that effect on the down there area.
All right. It's not because we're busy or other things are going on, or is it?
It should be. They say a decrease in hours of daylight during the winter can also upend circadian rhythms, the eternal clock, sleep patterns, and the holiday stress and everything else. So welcome to the most sexless day. If you're listening to us on Friday when this podcast drops, it's the most sexless day of the year.
This implies, though, that there is also a day in the year where it peaks.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that.
To know what that is.
Yeah. Would it be? That's a good question.
Know.
Yeah.
I mean, I would not have picked today as sexless. I just don't know. And I guess their determination is kind of strange too.
That just because they're using
that they're not emergency contraception. Is that what it was?
And the STD infection test kits and that kind of stuff. Yeah, is what they're saying is why they said that this is the most sexless day, because the numbers
sounds
bear
more
out.
Like the most freaky sexless day.
Correct.
Is what
exactly. By the way, how dare I though question Superdrug Online Doctor?
Yeah, I pulled it up here. Excuse me.
She'll like it too.
Yeah.
Nugenics. Man boosting.
Superdrug Online Doctor is a website for you get boner pills and contraceptives.
By the way, use just
hair loss.
Use code StuffStocking for a free bit of a Nugenics.
Yeah, I can buy malaria tablets.
Oh, okay, good.
And chlamydia. Can you explain to me?
Superdrug Online Doctor can get you. That seems reputable.
Please explain to me the stock photo they have used here for chlamydia, Mike. I'm going to turn my computer screen around.
All right.
So that you can see what chlamydia is here. It's on the far left. Can you explain what's going on there?
Yeah. So you have one person ready to fight something, another person putting their hands back, like, "No, chlamydia, stay away."
Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. It's like two hipster young couple, and they appear to. I mean, the guy looks like he's playing an imaginary guitar, and she looks like she's dancing. I mean, the whole thing is
goofed.
Is pretty goofed. Yeah.
Speaking of goofed, as we moved on here on the Mike and Molson Too Good for Radio podcast, staying on the same subject matter, we go from sexless to almost too much of it.
Okay.
Pornhub has given us its annual year-end list of how gross people actually are.
You know, Pornhub, I give them credit for how closely they monitor our habits, because there's always some sort of survey coming out every few months on what they're discovering.
Yeah, so this is the year-end one, and I even have by state, I should say, the United States top relative searches for each state. But we'll go through the actual general overview first.
So these are the search terms.
Yeah, the company unveiled its top searches of 2023 just yesterday, and by the way, the mature category is now the 7th most viewed worldwide, surging in popularity by a staggering, this seems made up, 69%.
Seems a little obvious, but that's an interesting typing in mature.
Oh, it gets worse.
Okay.
Searches with
or better, depending on your kink.
I guess so. But searches with the word granny grew by 132%.
Granny.
While GILF spiked by a significant 168%.
Yeah, essentially the same thing.
Yes. But by the way, is it, pardon the pun, is that hard out there being a grandma that you need to go to Pornhub as a grandma to make cash?
You said Granny, and the thing that came to mind was Tweety Bird's keeper.
Right.
In all the cartoons.
And if given the choice between Bugs and Drag or Granny, which one did you find more attractive back then? Because apparently more and more people are finding Granny from Sylvester and Tweety as the most attractive.
Yeah, but I'm curious enough to say, if there was like a Chuck Jones granny porn or something, then I might I might watch.
The curiosity,
whatever
maybe
this is, I want nothing to do with.
By the way, the terms big, bigger, and biggest collectively grew by 177% worldwide, while searches containing huge ballooned by 67%.
Huge.
Meanwhile,
I don't think men or women want to encounter anything huge. Could you imagine?
Can you imagine huge granny together as a search? I don't know.
I mean, whatever the noun is that follows huge, whether it's boobs or dude or whatever,
dong or whatever.
Nobody wants that.
No. Let's see. Meanwhile, with the ongoing wars in Ukraine and Middle East, searches containing the word soldier were up 332%.
No kidding.
Yeah, standing at attention apparently. With the growing interest in AI programs such as ChatGPT, searches for robot grew by 304% this year.
That's interesting.
From last year. Terms like sex robot, AI robot, and 3D robot were among the most popular. Pornhub also revealed the website's most popular porn stars, adult film stars. 25-year-old Miami native Abella Danger taking the top spot. Also, Angela White was in there. More Americans were the biggest users of the X-Rated website. USA.
Yeah.
USA. Look at us go.
Freaks.
With Filipinos rising 3 spots to take second place. Pornhub press release also delved into the specifics of America's viewing habits, noting some unusual state-by-state differences, which I will get to here in a little bit. By the way, Pornhub also revealed that Americans are lasting longer on the site than we used to because of products like our fine sponsors in Nugenics. Americans now browse and watch for an average of 9 minutes and 51 seconds per session.
Okay.
With Marylanders hanging the longest at 11 minutes and 31. So you just go on there for like 12 minutes. Louisiana residents didn't take long to log on at 8 minutes and 21 seconds per visit.
That's usually about the time. There was that famous review in the 70s when Deep Throat came out, and the reviewer said, for like the first 10 minutes, it was exciting and I was horny and just all gigged up and everything. And then like for the rest of the movie, I never wanted to have sex again because it just became so overwhelming and like close up and,
all the other stuff going on.
Everything.
Yeah.
So I think probably after about 8 or 9 minutes, you go, like, I've seen about all I can take.
After huge granny for 8 minutes,
that's about where I cap off.
Do you want to go through any of the state breakdowns?
Please.
Real quick? All right. So we'll begin with Illinois, which is super gross. Out of all the things I'm looking at right now, Illinois, we're gross because it's butt eating.
Butt eating?
But they don't use the word for butt. They use it more. Yeah. So that's just gross. What are we doing?
That's the thing we search the most?
Yeah. In Illinois.
See, again, that implies that everything else has been checked off, and there's nothing else left. That's
We're
compelling.
A bunch of freaks in Illinois.
Yeah,
that's our top one.
I've seen it all. Now I got to go over.
Although I will say, North Dakota and South Dakota are similar but vastly different.
Okay.
In that South Dakota has shower sex, which is never as great as you think it's going to be.
Very cumbersome.
But meanwhile, North Dakota searched loud wet sex as their number one. Very
loud and wet.
Very, very specific. Out in Wyoming, they like goth.
No kidding.
Yeah, that was our number one search term out there in Wyoming. In Utah, it's pretty obvious. What do you think Utah's most searched term on Pornhub would be?
Well, I guess it's got to be something with the Mormons, right?
It is Mormon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mormons the number one search. Way to go outside your comfort zone, Utah.
Well, no, but that would be the most forbidden, right?
That would be the most verboten. Some of the other states in the Midwest here, Iowa, cartoon porn.
Interesting.
Next to Iowa,
there's your granny from Looney Tunes.
Yes, exactly. Next to Iowa, you got Nebraska. Nebraska's. Nebraska's most searched term on Pornhub for 2023, according to Pornhub, was rub.
I want to see people rubbing together.
I want.
You got any of them rubbing together movies?
You got some rub going on there.
Where a man and a woman,
and they're rubbing.
A man lays on top of a woman, and they just kind of rub themselves together.
You know, that rub stuff they got going on. Virginia has smoking as theirs.
Oh, sure.
Kentucky.
Big tobacco country out there.
They got some smoking. Kentucky, bouncing boobs.
Good for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indiana's got some chubby. They like the word chubby.
Corn-fed.
Corn-fed chubby. So between Nebraska and Indiana, you got one of those chubby rubbing ones. You got a rubbing the chubby. Let's see, what else here?
See, I guess I want to go back to Kentucky because there's just something
bouncing.
Yeah, there's something just very 14-year-old Cinemax about that. That you're a freshman in high school and you go, you would not believe what I saw last night after my mom and dad went to bed.
Snuck down, watched
bouncing. They were bouncing
all over the place. I don't know how she didn't get a black eye out of that. In Nevada, the most searched term was Vegas.
Okay.
Out in Washington, you know what? Give it up to Washington. They're the classiest state. Mm-hmm. As their most
intercourse.
Their most searched term
Coitus.
For 2023 of Pornhub is sensual sex.
Oh. Yeah, see?
That is if you're going to go on to this website where Granny and Gilfin is going off all over the place, and you search sensual sex, kudos to you, Washington. Yeah. We're not all gross.
That's right.
That is right. So that's just some of the big ones here. I'm trying to think. New Hampshire was pierced. You got Delaware was college. South Carolina was high heels. And Mississippi, you are freaks. Furry was your number one search term. So there you go. That's the year-end review from Pornhub, brought to you by the Michael Molson Too Good for Radio podcast, as well as Nugenics, because she'll like it too. And go ahead.
Me? Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was going to say over in Germany.
Yeah. This is pretty interesting. I didn't know this existed, and you probably didn't either. They have drive-through brothels.
Which I saw that and I go, how the hell does that work?
Along busy roads. Apparently, when you get into the outskirts of some German cities, you'll start to notice rows and rows of campers.
Okay. People just seeing the countryside of Germany?
That's not what that. You know what's going on here. Mobile homes are common sight and a favorite with long-distance truck drivers and completely legal. According to German law, you pull over.
Okay.
You tap on the window.
Hello.
I would like some sex.
Hello.
You get some sex, and then you're on the road. The Sun newspaper in the UK visited a sprawling road in the industrial part of Cologne on a busy Friday night, and found that there are all these. It's not like there's 5 of them. There's 25 of them.
Good Lord.
And
just campers ready to go, huh?
And apparently you tap on the door, and if you've got $30 or $40 in your pocket,
good Lord, come on.
You're off to the races.
Come on. You value yourself a little bit more than $30 or $40.
But now German Chancellor Olaf Scholz is causing for legal restrictions, saying it is unacceptable for men to purchase women.
Thank you, Olaf Scholz. Although it is the most ancient and oldest profession.
It is estimated that more than 1.2 million men buy sex every single day in Germany.
Good, sweet criminetly, Germany.
Germany's population is maybe 40-50 million, I think. I'm guessing.
1.2
so that's a
every
large
day.
Percentage. It's like that's not a lot here in America, but in Germany, I think that's a big deal.
That's even still, it's over 1 million people a day paying for it. What do you want?
Unlike brothels, there are no security guards or pimps to deal with unhappy customers, leaving the women extremely vulnerable. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, especially when you're just on the side of the road. Mm-hmm. It's like the honor system, I guess.
There are no pimps around here.
No, they're not walking around with talking about money.
Right.
Money. Sorry.
My pimp will blacken your eye if you get out of hand. Apparently there's been a spate of recent arson attacks on these things. So I guess guys are just unsatisfied, and so they just like, I'm just going to light this thing on fire and go.
You have the convenience of it being right there on the roadside. It's like these Germans over here, people who get upset about their drive-through orders being wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens, but you have the convenience to pull over and have that if you want.
Sex industry abolition activist Ellie Arrow, who, by the way, is far too attractive to be in the category of a sex abolitionist. Yeah.
Ellie Arrow.
Yeah, look at him.
Shoot straight for that one. Hey.
These caravans get a lot of the cross-border sex tourism, but you've also got intra-German sex tourism, which was the most searched term, I think, in Louisiana.
Yes, the intra-German.
Yes. Intra-German sex tourism.
Yeah.
They get men coming from other cities who are on business trips, long-distance truck drivers, and they stop there because it's especially cheap. Basically, if you've got some pocket change, there's a woman and a camper waiting to go.
Once again, when we have this discussion about this particular topic, I don't think in a million years I would have the chutzpah or the guts to even approach this. I don't know how. I don't know how you make that first where you go, well, everything else has failed. I have $40 in my pocket. Let's see what happens. I wouldn't have the guts to go in there. I wouldn't know what to do.
Exactly. I mean, call me old-fashioned, but that's still very intimate.
Yes,
and
very much so.
You've got to be into it and into the person, and there's got to be something going on.
I'm not sitting in a waiting room going, okay, when's my turn? Yeah. I'm sorry. That's just not how I'm going to roll.
Yeah, and I mean, these are dirty, broke-ass old
trailers.
Campers. Yeah. And
what do you want, huh? You want clean sheets? Come on, this is Germany. We pay extra for this.
And so, and again, it's about $30 for a session. So I don't know that you're getting. I don't know that you're getting. I don't know that you're getting high German engineering in the women that we have.
This is not your BMW. This is mostly your Volkswagen of.
Yes, we've got some broken down Hyundais in here, probably.
Moving on from drive-through sex to just drive-through in general. We already talked about Pornhub giving you its yearly wrap-up. DoorDash has done the same thing as well. They have their trend reports, and they've done the year-end from January 1st to October 31st, the most ordered things on DoorDash.
Okay.
So we will go through the top ordered food nationwide here in the U.S.
And DoorDash fascinates me because you can order as lazy as you want. There's really no minimum.
Correct.
If you want to get a medium Dr. Pepper from Burger King, someone will bring you one. It'll be $12, but you'll get it.
So here are the top ordered foods nationwide.
Okay.
According to DoorDash's year-end, kind of putting together the numbers.
And before you get there, in my mind, I'm eliminating pizza and Chinese because those they have their own delivery process already in play.
Nope.
But you're saying maybe not.
Yes. It's not ranked in any particular order. It's just it's kind of top 10. Pepperoni pizza is in the top 10 as far as the top ordered food nationwide from DoorDash. Not just from a pizza place, from DoorDash.
It's really strange.
Also, fried rice.
Okay.
Gets in there. Cobb salad? Which is an odd thing. You get a Cobb salad hankering and I'm going to go to DoorDash and order a
fried rice is really nothing. I mean,
no.
It's just
traditional chicken wings, which is another one that already has inherently a delivery kind of service attached to it. Chips and queso.
Wow.
Talk about a lazy order.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's a lazy-ass order from DoorDash.
That's like a $6 order at any restaurant.
And you're going to pay $18 for your chips and queso. Spicy chicken sandwich gets in there. A chicken quesadilla.
Just one?
Just one. Just a chicken quesadilla. Garlic naan is kind of the most outside the box one. That actually makes sense, though. Like, you can't really just go out and make naan.
You can't. And there aren't a lot of Indian delivery places out there.
So you'd have to go to DoorDash for that. The last two, also pretty basic as far as the top ordered food nationwide, according to DoorDash. You got mozzarella sticks and French fries.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Those are the most ordered food nationwide from DoorDash. French fries, mozzarella sticks in there as
And
well.
I don't want to hear a single person complain about not having any cash, about how bad the economy is, about not having enough money for
gifts or whatever
for my rent or whatever.
Yeah.
If you are door dashing mozzarella sticks and French fries
with a side of chips and queso,
with a Cobb salad,
man,
that's incredible to me.
They also have the top grocery orders nationwide because DoorDash goes out. So they have the top grocery items. They are bananas, Roma tomatoes, strawberries, cucumber, cilantro, whole milk, eggs, iceberg lettuce, a red onion, and blueberries.
Every one of those things are things that you get when you go to the grocery store. It's kind of like every trip to the grocery store, there's there's a dozen or so things that you always get.
Yeah, I don't know if cucumber makes that list though. That's kind of an odd one that would just be thrown in there.
But if you're a vegetable or something, fruit. You get milk. You get it's just some of the sundry. So that's stuff that you probably would have already. That really is amazing to me.
That people would DoorDash those particular things. Yeah. They also have a couple other categories that they have are top ordered alcohol nationwide from DoorDash. And it's very generic. It's your rum, it's your vodka, it's tequila, it's whiskey, but then you have Pinot Grigio, lager beer, Pinot Noir, Prosecco, Sauvignon Blanc, and the same people who are ordering the Mott sticks and the fries via DoorDash are the same people ordering hard seltzer.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Prosecco was an interesting one.
Yeah. Holiday hangover recovery items that people are ordering. Cheesesteaks, cognac, nacho fries, bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, and cold brew.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's something interesting about when you place an order from DoorDash is the first thing that pops up is, hey, if you need something, if you need them to stop at the grocery store or the
Walgreens
or whatever, you got 15 minutes to do this. And there's always a part of me that goes, I kind of just want them to stop and, I don't know, grab some dental floss or just something ridiculous. Walk in there.
And get some prophylactics.
Can you get me some Metamucil?
I need to be regular. Can you get me some X-Lax to go with this?
Throw them in there. I want a pack of gum.
And a wiffle ball, if I could, please. And finally, they have the top ordered desserts from DoorDash. What do you think those would be?
Top ordered desserts.
There's only 3 of them that they have listed here.
Okay. A pie, a cake.
Chocolate brownies.
Brownies, okay.
Strawberry cheesecake.
All right.
And debatable of whether this is a dessert, donuts. Okay. That seems more ordering for breakfast. I don't know if they call it, inherently donuts are sweet as hell and probably should be a dessert, but we start our day with them for some reason. But they put them in the dessert category.
Have you ever had DoorDash, post DoorDash guilt?
No.
Where you just realize, it's like, man, I paid way too much. It was really good. I'm glad I did it. Kind of like when you go to Pornhub. That was awesome.
That was awesome. That was 8 minutes well spent.
And then you have that post-Pornhub clarity.
And guilt. What did I just do?
Same thing with DoorDash, where it's like, holy God, that was just a lot of money.
I don't DoorDash enough. I'll just go get it. Like I'll order the pickup. So I've never experienced that as of yet, but I'm pretty sure at some point in my life I will. It'll get to the point where I don't feel like driving to pick it up.
Yeah.
The convenience takes over.
It's wonderfully convenient. And you go, all right, what am I willing to pay for this convenience? But then when you sit down and you go, man, I just got €1 and it was like $28. It shouldn't have been $28.
My sister has told me about that a couple times where she'll just order a sample where she's like, I could have just driven there, but I ended up paying extra just so I don't have to leave my house. And so my $10 sandwich is $25 with tip.
It's a brilliant business model.
It is.
They know we're lazy and we have money falling out of our pockets regardless of what the news says.
Correct. And finally, the Mike and Molson Too Good for Radio podcast. The holidays upon us. We're just 10 days from Christmas, the recording of this particular episode. And inevitably, in every family, there's going to be a possibility of awkward conversations. So a relationship expert and a kind of a family therapist went through 4 different scenarios and gives you solutions on how to get out of them without causing a major rift in your relationship with your family.
Okay.
All right. Scenario number 1 is your aunt keeps asking when you're getting married, a topic you don't want to get into. So you're the single person, you show up, when are you going to get married? When are you going to get married? They say solution number 1 is avoid her. They say conflict avoidance is often framed as cowardly, like you're hiding from an important conversation or moment of growth. But if you don't have the time and energy and you don't want to engage on this topic of a Christmas dinner, that's fine.
Yeah, when you die.
Yeah, in fact, you're allowed to avoid a family member who always tries to fight with you or criticizes you or your life choices. They say solution 2, just exit the conversation. Tell your aunt you need to get a snack or use the bathroom or get a drink and just kind of get rid of it so you don't get into it with your aunt.
I think I'm going to be sick.
Yeah,
Just
watch
run.
out. Yeah. Solution number 3, this one is a dicey choice, to be direct. Tell them, I don't want to talk about it. You could also give a response like, my thoughts about it aren't fully processed. I'm still in the thinking phase about it.
I don't want to end up like you.
Correct. Angry about the relationship I'm in. And solution 4, use humor to redirect the conversation, which is always my kind of go-to.
Yeah.
If the moment feels right, you might say, whoa, that's a big question. It can be a switch to a topic that isn't so heavy. So that's what they say about that one. Here's the one that I think everyone is going to encounter at one point. Your uncle wants to discuss a controversial topic. Uncle Carl just goes off, and they say, the first solution is find something else to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? If you know the conversation is going to be problematic, change the subject.
Do we have any ice cream? Yeah.
Yeah. Next one is fraught with peril, though. Cautiously engage. No. In no way, shape, or form do you engage Uncle Carl in this craziness. They say, listen as much as you talk and be willing to learn something new. If you come from a place of curiosity, you're much less likely to trigger the defense mechanisms. You can also come into the conversation knowing you're not trying to win. If you remove the pressure of trying to convince them with facts and statistics, it lowers the stakes. It also means everybody else has to listen to crazy Uncle Carl for a while.
Man, yeah, I would love to just have an interesting conversation with maybe somebody I disagree with. Hey, where are you on this? Where am I on this? But crazy Uncle Carl ain't going to do that.
No, he's not. They say solution 3 is productively disagree. To demonstrate you're engaging in the conversation in good faith, acknowledge your uncle's points. You don't have to agree with them, but you might say, I see you have put a lot of thought into this, or it makes sense from this angle. But that's going to end badly. And then they finally just say, nip it in the bud, which I think is the biggest one. If you notice you're getting worked up, end the conversation. Especially if having the debate will ruin the rest of the evening for everyone, which inevitably it will.
It has to. Yeah.
So don't engage. And the final one they have is a cousin or a family member that is constantly putting you down. Like years and years of been, look at Johnny.
Right.
Hey, Johnny, what are you doing for the career, huh? Still, writing those jingles things? So they say, solution 1 is to defend yourself. You're allowed to draw a line. If there's a friend's party or workplace event and somebody was treating you the same way, how would you react? You would stand up for yourself. Then they...
Fair.
And the last one they have here is you regret coming to the party. Yeah. Immediately you walk in, you're like, oh boy. Remember why you decided to go in the first place, they say is the first solution. Solution 2, which I think is the best one when it comes to work parties or any holiday party in general, make a time limit. Be like, all right, I'm going to go in there. Right. I'm going to be there for a half hour. And then I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm in, I'm out, I'm done. And finally say...
And you should be able to stomach any kind of nonsense for 45 minutes or whatever number you've decided.
If you decide to show up or feel guilted into showing up, it's perfectly acceptable to put a time frame on it.
Yep.
And just be like, hey, you made an appearance. They can't yell at you for that. And the final scenario in that case is you regret coming to a party. They just say, make a run for it. They say it's perfectly acceptable to leave a party if things get out of hand. You don't have to tell anyone. You can just say, hey, I have to get something out of my car and bounce.
Right, and leave through the window.
Right, exactly. Go to the bathroom and then climb out their window. And leave a floater behind if you'd like, or whatever. So that's how you handle those particular scenarios. So hopefully
that's good advice.
Hopefully you learned something from today's podcast.
Absolutely.
We've learned that people are gross when it comes to Pornhub. Don't ever search for huge, and don't go to Superstar Online or Superdrug Online Doctor.
Super chlamydia avoidance, something.
Yeah, unless you're looking for eugenics, because as we always say,
she'll like it too.